When we talk about young people becoming involved in criminality or gangs, it's important to remember that this is rarely the result of a simple choice. For most, it grows out of a combination of pressures, vulnerabilities, and experiences. Understanding these factors helps us to recognise the early warning signs and provide support to prevent the situation from escalating. One of the most common reasons why young people are drawn into criminality is money. For those under 16, there are very few legitimate ways to earn an income. A lot of young people can feel the pressure to provide, and if their family is struggling, the allure of fast cash can feel like the only solution. Economic inequality makes this pressure even stronger. This is seen particularly in Kensington and Chelsea, as the areas with the highest gang presence are also mirrored to be the same areas with the highest rates of deprivation. Another key factor is a lack of access to positive pathways. Being in mainstream education is one of the strongest protective factors for preventing involvement in gangs and criminality. School exclusion has a strong correlation to involvement in gangs and criminality, and this is seen through statistics. 50% of the criminal justice system under 21 were excluded from school, and 47% of those entering the prison system have no formal qualifications. When young people are excluded from school or disengaged from their education, they lose a number of things, such as a sense of stability and routine, purpose and direction, supportive relationships, and access to positive role models. Although many opportunities exist for training, employment, and within youth provision, sometimes these are not always very well advertised or known within the communities that need them most. With this in mind, helping a young person to access positive opportunities is one of the most effective forms of prevention. As well as this, often young people can become involved with gangs not because they want to, but because they feel like they have no choice. This feeling of having no choice can happen in lots of different ways. For example, if the young person's friends or family members are already gang involved, they may feel vulnerable simply through association. In these situations, a young person may turn to a gang for protection because they feel vulnerable to becoming a target. What begins as protection, however, often unfortunately becomes dependence, exploitation, and control. As well as this, many young people involved with gangs have experienced adverse childhood experiences, or ACEs, as well as trauma. These include things such as abuse and neglect, domestic violence, parental substance misuse, instability, and family breakdown. The impact of trauma on a young person can be far-reaching and unique, but it can impact a lot of different things, such as their neurological development, their ability to trust and form relationships, their understanding of consequences, their decision-making, and their social development. All of these things together can increase a young person's vulnerability to exploitation and grooming. At the same time, gangs can appear to offer the young person something that they may feel that they lack, such as belonging, status, acceptance, and validation. This belonging and acceptance is, however, conditional and can quickly turn into manipulation and exploitation. Young people living in areas with a high gang presence can also be more vulnerable to grooming. This can come from a number of different ways, such as an older individual looking to exploit them, from their peer groups and peer pressure, as well as those offering friendship, protection, and material incentives. Grooming can be a long process and often starts as something harmless, such as a free lift, free food, a small amount of money, or access to drugs. Over time, however, this can turn into expectations, pressure, debts, threats, and blackmail. Young people can also be naive to risk and also of the consequences of involvement with a gang until they feel trapped. Peer influence often plays a huge role too, and when involvement in criminality is normalised, it can appear exciting and it can be difficult to resist peer pressure. For some young people who lack access to sport or creative provision or even safe spaces, becoming involved in criminality can feel exciting. It can offer some young people a sense of identity, reputation, power, and purpose. When we ask why young people become involved in gangs and criminality, we must often look beyond their presenting behaviours and ask a number of questions, such as, what needs are they trying to meet? What pressures surround them? What support or opportunities are they missing? And what do they believe they have to lose or gain? At its core, This is about early intervention, consistent support and understanding, rather than judgment. By building strong relationships, offering positive opportunities and being present for young people, we can support them into healthier pathways for their future.